Well, hello. Everybody tell me right out loud, what is the name of this series? Psalms 86 verse 2 says this, "You are my God, be merciful to me, O Lord, for I am calling on you." How often? Constantly. You're never going to bug God with your request. He absolutely loves you, absolutely loves you. Coming to him with every need, every issue, every desire. Take him to play golf with you, take him out hunting with you, take him fishing. We talk to him about everything. Give me happiness, O Lord, for I give myself to you. Last week we learned some important stuff. First thing we learned was that it was God's idea for you to be happy. He absolutely desires and wants you to be happy. That real happiness and lasting happiness, happiness that will stay, comes from him. Now, take a look on the side screen and look at this quote. When we are pursuing the things that don't have the power to make us happy, we're ignoring the ones that do. And last week I told you that only 10% of your happiness comes from circumstances. You only get a 10% bump from a new car, a 10% bump from a better job situation or a raise on the job. So only 10% bump that does not last. When the new car smell wears off and the Taco Bell wrappers are filling up the back seat, happy, 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 it's not there anymore. So circumstances are never going to bring you true, long-lasting happiness. We talked to you about the fact that instead it would be some life practices. Some things that God has talked about for a long time, and over the last 4 years, the majority of psychologists are agreeing in something called positive psychology, that if a person is going to be happy, these life practices that God has been saying all along have to be evident in their life. I said the first one is that happy people are not lazy about happiness. You can't be passive when it comes to your happiness because you have an enemy that wants to kill, steal, and destroy the smile right off of your face, the joy right out of your life, because it turns you into an individual that nobody else wants to know about, that nobody else really cares to understand how you got that way in life. Nobody wants to know, hey, man, you got a lousy marriage. Woohoo, tell me about it. No, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to say, man, you know, things are bad and the economy might be tough and you're working a job that where the boss isn't all that great, and yet you're joy-filled and happy and loving what you do, then people are going to want to know about it. But not if you just look like every other employer, on the job. It doesn't happen that way. So happy people pursue happiness. And you're not going to find or be happy when a happy feeling hits your heart or your emotions while you're sitting on a sofa watching TV. We saw last week that the experts all agree that the average mood of a person watching a sitcom is slightly depressed. So if you're wondering, how come I feel the way I do, 4 or 5 hours worth of television, listen, television caves me under. I cannot do a lot of television because I find myself just depressed or in a bad mood or grouchy. And really, when you're watching television, even if it's a funny show, do you realize that you're sitting watching somebody else work and make money? That alone ought to make you mad. It really should. You got to fight for your happiness. You got to plan it out. You got to put feet to it, and you got to go after those experiences that make you happy. 5 days ago, a year's worth of planning went into this. Take a look at this picture on the side screen. Take a look at this. There you go. 5 days ago, Paonia, Colorado. That is the results of a 54-year-old terrible hunter who smelled good, by the way, and the prayers of a 12-year-old boy. But I'm telling you to go side by side with my grandson into the woods and be able to take down that woohoo monster trophy that no one else has ever taken down, a monster trophy like that. I'm telling you right now, but it took planning, it took work, it took all kinds of effort to be able to go after those kind of happy and eventful experiences. And really, for that 12-year-old, he'll never forget that. He'll be telling his grandkids about that for the rest of his life. But it takes work. It takes effort. It takes somebody saying, we're going to do this, and all hell is going to come against you having fun. That's how the enemy works. Here's the second thing. Happy people are givers. Happy people are givers. Research shows that happy people have a lifestyle of giving. Now, I'm not just talking about writing a check, even though that's important and that's part of it. But I'm also talking about pouring into the life of a single mom. Maybe you got a neighbor that's going through a struggle and they just need a little groceries. Or maybe it's a coworker that you just need to spend time with or buy their lunch someday and just sit down and just hear their story. Happy people, the Bible teaches this, and brain research finds this, that chemical changes that take place in the brain when you are doing an unselfish act of giving is the same brain chemical changes that take place when you're eating really good food or having sex. Wait a minute, did I just put food in front of sex? Did I do that? Something's wrong. That's 50 for you. That's what 50 will do for you. But think about that. God wired us to have pleasure, the same kind of chemical changes, pleasure over eating good food or having sex, as what you get when you are giving unselfishly. And the truth is, you simply don't know it or experience that until you've done it. We had a small group here in our church, and I really love what they did. They're all tithers, so they didn't do this out of their tithe money or I'd have beat them in the head. But they went over to a mission field, and they made a mission trip together. It's the first time they've ever done this. And they came back, and I really, really wanted to get the words of everyone that was in the small group that planned this trip and went on this trip, but we had to edit it down to where only a couple of them are being able to talk. And but I want you to see, because I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I saw out of this group when they got back from the trip that was evident in their life was the tremendous amount of happiness and joy that they got out of just giving to somebody who didn't have. Take a look at this. You know, what a great thing, I think, for a mission group, a team of our people in our church, a small group, to pull together and to plan something like that. But the thing that I noticed most about the group when they got back was how changed they were. I mean, these are giving people. They have been their whole life, and as long as I've known them. But when they went on this trip, and they just gave unselfishly of their time and their love and their prayers and their actions and hard work and sweat to another group of people they'd never even met before. I mean, it was like a light turned on to them. And they would tell you one of the greatest things they've done all year long. They'll tell you that was a great experience because God wired us up to experience the same amount of joy and pleasure out of giving that we do good food and sex. I mean, it's not just that they did that so that they could have those kind of good feelings, but it doesn't make any difference. God wired you that way. If you're going to be a happy individual, you've got to pour into other people. You've got to be a giver. Look at this statement on the side screen. One of the best happiness structures in life is the practice of giving to God and giving to Him first. I mean, to be able to say, God, your kingdom work is my top priority, whether that's a mission field to Clifton or whether that's a mission field in Nicaragua or wherever that might be. And I'm telling you, it brings something that would change the lives. And I saw this happen in a couple of the older teenage girls that were in the group. I mean, it will change your entire focus to be able to go on a trip where all of a sudden you're experiencing something that is totally unselfish on your behalf and giving to somebody else. It's an amazing thing. Happy people are giving people. That's how God wired us, and that's what the experts are showing us. More about that mission stuff in the future. Happy people pursue goals. Number 3, happy people pursue goals. Look at this statement. Find a happy person, and you will find a project in process. Find a happy person, and you will find a project in process. The Bible puts it this way: without vision, the people perish. Now, there's a lot of things you're going to learn about Fellowship Church over the years, but let me tell you something that you will always find to be true. When you come to Fellowship Church, you will always find a whole lot going on. You will always find a stretching to the very next most important kingdom building project that is happening at that moment. But it doesn't make any difference if it's like something really super big or if it's something small. Happy people are people that pursue goals. My mother lives in Florida. She's 84 years of age, and I call her probably 2 or 3 times every week. And I check on her. And about 2 weeks ago, I think it was, there was a LPGA tournament happening in Denver. And I called her up and said, "Hey, Mom, what are you doing?" She said, "Well, I just finished watching a golf tournament." Now, she's 84, never played golf a day in her life. I didn't even know she liked it. So she says to me, "I just got done watching this tournament. Did you see it?" I said, "No, I was working, Mom. I didn't see it." She said, "Well, it was really good. Those women were really good, and I think they beat the USA. I think it was a Europe group against USA. I think they won." And she was telling me all about it. I said, "Mom, I didn't even know you understood golf or watched golf." She said, "Oh, I watch it every once in a while. I like it." She said, "No, I didn't understand it, so I Googled the rules of golf." I've been playing golf for 30 years. I have never read the rules of golf, and I don't plan on it. It allows me to cheat better without really. But my mother's reading the rules of golf on the internet. A few months ago, I called her up and said, "Mom, what do you know?" She said, "I'm learning how to knit." I said, "Really? Really? Crochet? You're sitting in a chair crocheting? That doesn't sound like you." I mean, it really is totally not my mother. She said, "Well, a lot of women do that are my age, and I wanted to know what the big deal was of it, and I love it," she said. I said, "Well, how did you learn?" She said, "I taught myself off the internet." I go, "You're kidding me." I said, "What are you knitting?" She goes, "Well, I'm knitting this and knitting that, and washcloths mostly." And I said, "Okay, that's cool." I said, "Well, knit me something. I'd love to have something you've knitted." She said, "I'll do that, but I'm working on some blankets right now." And I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, I'm making blankets for a Christian organization that gives blankets that older people knit to newborns or to preemies to preemie babies in hospitals. So I'm knitting, I got to get those mailed off. She got the next blanket she's working on. She's incredibly happy. People that just sit around with nothing to do and no goal and no expectation and no project, not happy. So happy people are people that pursue goals. Number 4, happy people understand the benefits of laughter. Happy people really understand and make a priority out of the benefits of laughter. And you say, well, we all have different stressors in our life. And it's true that they can relate to the laughter right out of your normal everyday routine. But the Bible tells us, and science tells us, that our bodies were not created to live under stressors where there is no laughter. Study tells us that people who laugh on a regular basis live longer, they're healthier, and they have better relationships. It also tells us that one of the best stress relievers that God ever, the Bible tells us this, and they agree, one of the best stress relievers that God ever created for us was laughter. When you take time to see humor in life, it's just like you're taking a medicine every day. It has been proven that laughter lowers the blood pressure, increases creativity, it activates the body's natural tranquilizers, it helps reduce stress and helps you to sleep better at night. It strengthens our immune system by releasing endorphins that make you feel better. Laughter increases your brain function that helps you make better decisions. Happy people are smarter than unhappy people. And therefore we make it a priority to laugh. There's great benefits in life. Well, you're just being foolish. No, you're not. You're getting better because that's how God gave it. It's how he wired you. That's why he gave you the gift of laughter. And that's why one of the most important people in your family is the person in your family that makes you laugh the most. Now, those of you that are employers that employ people, would you raise your hand? If you have an employee that is not your big hitter, that is not just like an A-team, but yet he's funny, keep him on the payroll. Just because he's funny? Yes, do it. Because I've done funeral services for over 36 years now. And do you know the family members miss the most? The ones that made them laugh. Well, I'm glad old Serious Charlie, I wish old Serious Charlie was still here. Nah, I don't hear that a lot. But you'll say, oh man, they were so funny. They made me laugh harder than anyone else in our family. Because the person in the family that makes you laugh has great value. I mean, great value. When you hear that they're coming to a family reunion, oh, wait a minute, Cousin Sally's coming. Oh, she is so awesome. I love her. When she is here, the party starts when Sally walks in the room. And then Uncle Bob's coming. You never hear somebody say, oh, Uncle Bob's coming. Woohoo! It's going to be an evening filled with the pitfalls of Obamacare. Can't wait. Bring it. No. You say, well, Pastor, we have to have serious conversations from time to time. Yes, we do have to have serious conversations. But you know when you don't have to have serious conversations? All the time. Have them every once in a while. But there must be laughter. There must be humor. There must be those kind of things found in our life. It's so very important. Psalms 126 says this, our mouths were filled with laughter and our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations. Then, when the laughter and the singing started, then the people said, the Lord has done great things for them. Not when they sat around a boardroom and discussed all the seriousnesses of what's going on in life. It's just when God's people laughed. Other people took notice. Man, I'm blessed in my family. I've got a funny family. I really do. Caitlin, my 15-year-old granddaughter, thinks it is very funny to make fun of me. And as a 15-year-old teenager, she does it quite well. Now, I have an issue with lyrics of songs. I really don't know the words of the songs. I don't. If I don't see them on the side screen, I can't really remember too many of them, and especially songs coming over the radio. I see the title coming across the screen, and I know like the lyrics to a few of the words, but the chorus, but I don't really know the words to anything else. And so we'll be in the car, and I will just kind of make up words. So like a Taylor Swift song's on, or because that's the age of my grandkids. So, and besides that, I like her. So a Taylor Swift song's on, and there's words in the song, Prince and a Princess. So I will just I'll say, hey, Prince and a Princess, you be the prince, and I'll be the princess. And I'll sing that out, and my grandkids will look at it, and they will laugh. I'll just I'll make up words until I know the word, and then I'll belt the word out real loud. And it's kind of scary. Well, my granddaughter, Caitlin, will pay attention to me closer than she needs to. And the other day, she was mimicking to me to her grandmother and her mother. and she was doing me singing in a car, and she nailed it. She nailed it. Anna had tears running down her face. Her mother was just in awe. I mean, she was funny. I mean, she was really funny. I told her, I said, honey, look. You need to stop paying so close attention to Pop-Pop and get a life. She said, Pop-Pop, I am 15 years old. I can't drive yet, and I'm being homeschooled. I don't have a life. This is the best I got. This is it right here. A granddaughter named Rachel, we'll go to a Grand Junction Rockies game. And anytime music comes on, she gets her dance on. So she will jump up. We're in the second row from the back. She will jump up and she'll start making these dance moves. Now, the only place she has ever seen these dance moves are in her own little head. She has never seen them anywhere else. She'll get a half grin on and she'll start just doing these little dance things out there. Pretty soon, 2 or 3 rows are looking at her. She could care less. They are laughing at her and talking about her, and and we are just dying in laughter. She will pull out a dance anywhere at any time music comes on. It is hilarious, and we laugh and we laugh and we laugh. One of the funniest people in our family is Anna. Now, she's kind of the behind-the-scenes kind of person, so you would not know this about her, but she is hilarious, and she loves to laugh. She is a roller coaster girl from way back. She loves roller coasters. I hate roller coasters. I am the official purse holder in any amusement park that we ever go in. Get me a t-shirt that says, I hold the purses. I will wear that t-shirt. I do not care. I think roller coasters are stupid. That's what I think. So I'll be holding the purses. I mean, she makes fun of me being the purse holder every time we go to the amusement park. And when the grandkids are there, I'm holding everybody's purse. And I'm sitting there with the purses on. That's my job. That's what I do. And they laugh and they laugh. They come back. Hey, Pop-Pop, that was fun. Get your purse. I mean, we just have so much fun. She loves going to watch live comedy shows. Now, she doesn't like crude. She doesn't think anything's crude's funny. So, all the years where I've ever tried to be crude and think it was funny, she doesn't think it's funny. She's a I Love Lucy kind of a nanny TV show, TV land watching kind of a funny person. She's on Twitter, and I'm not on any of the social networks. I don't have time for any of that. I'm not LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. But Anna's on Twitter, and anytime she finds something, she follows a lot of funny people, she'll send it to me. And 2 or 3 times a day, I get a laugh out of something that she laughed about earlier that day that she sent to me. If Bill Engvall's in town, or Jeff Foxworthy is going to be in Denver, or Brian Regan's coming to the Red Rocks, I mean, she's always wanting to get a ticket, get as close to the front as she possibly can. She loves to laugh. She is a funny person. One of the reasons I love hanging around my son Dan is because he is incredibly funny. We go to these hunting camps not because we necessarily need to bring back meat and stick it in the freezer. We can go to City Market for that. We go to hunting camps because it is funny. There are funny things that happen at hunting camp that are good for us. Now, a few hunting camps ago, we got rained on out there, and so we came into the camper soaking wet, and it was just Dan and I. So he strips down into his boxer shorts, and they were, well, let's just say they were soggy. Let's just put it that way. They were soggy. And so I'm sitting there at the table, and I'm just watching a little TV, a little hunting video. And he's just running around there in his boxer shorts on now, and they're soggy. So he bends over, and there's a little bit too much, little saggage going on in the back, if you understand what I'm saying. It was too close to my personal space, is what it was. And so I'm taking a look at him, and he's reaching down there to grab a pot or a pan out from underneath the oven, and all I could say was, that Amelie is one lucky woman. That's all I can think about. I'll tell you, it was really, I wish I could have got a picture of that. I want you to know. But man, we laughed, and he laughed a little bit later on. I had one of these electric fly swatter. Have you ever seen those electric? They're like a zapper, a bug zapper, but they're shaped like a fly swatter, and you punch 2 things on each side of the handle, and it turns into a bug zapper, and they're really fun for mosquitoes and things. Well, I'm thinking, Dan's there, and every once in a while he'll say something smart aleck to me, and he shot off the most hateful statement. He said, Dad, would you like me to make you a bowl of beef stew? Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't put up with that kind of talk. I'm not taking it. So I just laid that fly swatter right over against the calf of his leg, right there. Wham. And I thought it's going to just do a little, I thought it'd do a little shock, you know what I'm saying? It caught his leg hair on fire. on fire. I'm not kidding. I was so blown. It went woof. The little hair started, crinkling up and started smelling like burnt hair. It was awful. And he looks at me and goes, "What is wrong with you?" And I said, "Well, I thought it would be funny." And he didn't think it was funny, which made it that much funnier. And then, you know what he did? He's 30-something years old. He goes home and tells his mother on me, who she didn't think it was funny, and that, ladies and gentlemen, made it that much funnier. Tim Roseberry, over the years, has done more funny, crazy things than anybody I know. And the problem of it is, out of all of the years, 20-something, that he has done crazy, funny things, I can't tell you but one of them on a Sunday morning service. Because he's so borderline crude. You understand what I'm saying? Although Anna thinks he's very funny, so I don't know where that comes from. But Tim is one of the funniest people you've ever been around. And I'm telling you, he's crazy funny. He was at a hunting camp, I think it was last year. And we're out there hunting, and now let me give you a picture. We're up in Paonia hunting on private land. And the landowners are three brothers in their 60s. Now, these are men's men, okay? The rest of us, compared to them, are just pretender wannabe men. These are the real men. These are the real men who, in 20 degrees below up in the mountains, deliver their own babies, put their wife and their child in the car, run them into St. Mary's for 2 hours, and then take them back home, and then go out and work the fields. They are in their 60s, still running fence, still running cattle. These guys are tough as a. They don't watch television. They don't know much about TV. They don't know much of. They don't like to come to the big city of Grand Junction because there's too much traffic. These are guys, and we are up there, and we are trying to fit in with these guys. Okay, the men in our group were trying to fit in with the men of their group. Now Tim was there. Tim gets on a four-wheeler to go to his hunting area mid-afternoon. We're all standing out there around the campsite area. And as he's driving off, he stands up on his four-wheeler, looks back over his shoulder, and says, "Hey, fellas, do these camo pants make my butt look big?" We tried to act like we didn't hear what he said, but those ranchers heard what he said. They did this, they looked at us. As if there's something wrong with that boy. Do you want us to shoot him? Commercials are funny. Commercials are fun. Have you guys seen the commercial where the camel is walking through the office trying to get somebody to say it's hump day? I've seen it 100 times. I laugh every time. The Geico commercial where the guy's talking to Jake at 3 o'clock in the morning. The wife comes down. "Who are you talking to?" "I'm talking to State Farm, Jake at State Farm." "No, you're not. Give me that phone." She gets on the phone. She goes, "Who is this?" "I'm Jake from State Farm." "And what are you wearing?" "Jake from State Farm, khakis." She sounds hideous. Well, she's a guy, right? I laugh every time at that. You have to be secure enough to laugh at yourself. You know why I can pick on these guys? Because people pick on me and I laugh at me. A few days ago, or a few months ago actually, I was taking my trash out to the curb. And the trash truck comes, I don't know when, anytime it wants to. So I try to get it out there early. So I'm rushing to get all the trash in the trash cans. That's my job. I get it all trash gathered up in the house, get it in the trash can, and get it to the curb. Well, that particular day, I didn't throw on a shirt. I didn't throw on shoes. I threw on a pair of workout shorts because that's all I had on. I got my workout shorts on, nothing else. And I'm going out there to the curb, and as I'm walking out there, I'm thinking nobody's really up this time of day. So I'm doing really good. But my tax attorney neighbor is next door at the curb. All I hear is, I can't whistle. Somebody whistle for me like you're whistling. That's good. That has probably got you in a lot of trouble over the years. So I'm going out to the curb. I'm pulling my trash can up, and I hear somebody whistle. I'm like, "Oh, who knows me? Who's?" And sure enough, it's my neighbor next door. And he goes, "Hooper, looking good." Now, I had not done my 300 crunches that morning yet. I was saving those up. But this guy's 325, 350. Looks like he's about to give birth to triplets at any moment. And he's making fun of me. And I just started dying laughing. I just started laughing. Because secure people know how to laugh at themselves. If you hadn't laughed in a long time, go stand in front of a mirror and look at what you look like. If that doesn't work, take your clothes off and take another look. That's some funny stuff standing there. But some of us, really, some of you could really use to get your laughter back. And it's really easy to lose it. But when you do lose it, you lose a lot. For a couple of years, a few years back, and some of you that know me real well, some of you wouldn't recognize this, but those that know me real well knew it. I had a guy come to me after the service was over. I think it was Chuck Poland. And he said to me, he said, Pastor, and it was one of those services where it was just really fun. And he said, I'm glad to have you back. And I said to him, I said, man, what are you talking about? He said, well, I think for a couple of years you might have, had a little edge about you in your teaching. And sure enough, he was right. My Anna even talked to me about it, I had some people in the church. I wasn't handling some things right, and it was my fault. And I had some people in the church, just a big pain in the neck, that I should have blessed some of the church with by running them off a lot earlier, and I didn't do it because I was trying to fix them because I was being patient. And the Bible tells us to be patient, so I was trying. But finally, I just ran them off. And then I got happy. But then I remember Chuck coming to me and saying, Pastor, glad to have you back. And if it would have been today, I would have said, yeah, I'm back, Jack. I'm back, Jack. Because there's so many things that can steal our happiness, so many things that can take away your laughter. And the reason why the enemy goes after that is because of all the great benefits that come from just laughing, just having fun. You see, today, all of you are going to leave here today a little healthier, a little lower blood pressure, a little more creative, and feeling better. Because you laughed. And don't ever let the enemy steal something from you that God said was so important. The person in your family that makes everybody else laugh, will you think about them for a second? Why can't that person be you? Why can't they be you for a while? So they can say, man, when you're around, I hang with some funny people. I really do. There's some people down here on the front left. They're just funny. They send me texts throughout the week that are funny. I got a couple of guy friends that send me texts, and they're just hilarious. They're smart alecks, but they're hilarious. And Anna will say, you and your girlfriend's texting again? Yeah, baby, we're texting. You guys are like middle school girls. I mean, yeah, honey, I know. But it's just such an important part of life. It's such an important part of life. To be able to get your laughter back will do so much for you. Happy people know the benefits of laughter, and they go for it. They don't turn everything into something that's so serious. Are you really going to change this world by fighting them and talking about Obamacare? Really, you think you might? You think your family members are going, woohoo, they're up on Obamacare. You know what? If you would just laugh, you'll save all of us money on Obamacare by being healthier. Maybe you won't need it. Am I right? So today when you get ready to leave this place, know you're leaving here happier, healthier. Stress is released. Anxiety is reduced. You'll sleep a little better tonight. All because of one thing. You practice what God gave you as a natural stress reliever. Laughter. Let's do it a little more. Now, when you go to lunch today, I do not want you to think about Pastor Tim on a four-wheeler, looking back over his shoulder going, do these camo pants make my butt look fat? Do not vision that. Do not picture that. Get that out of your head. Don't think about it again. I love you. Get out of here.